Okay, so eyebrow tutorial. So I like to use eyebrow gels. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills, but I also love a soap. I might do one of each, one on each side, and we can see the difference. So I like to comb backwards against the hair and then up and over. And you do want to lift it up straight and then start gradually going over to the side. This will give a natural kind of shape to the eyebrow, and see how this one's instantly lifted to this. So for someone with thinner eyebrows, this makes such a difference. It means you could go thicker with any like colouring in that you'll do, without it looking too fake. If you get really long hairs there, just start combing them over as well, because you don't want it to look too spiky. I know some people do that, and it might suit them, but I don't necessarily do that on everyone. That's that one done with the Anastasia, and let me do it with soap. So this is literally Pear's soap, and I prefer the green one. For some reason it just works a little bit better. And this is a face spray, just a cheap Primark one. You can use setting spray, you can use just plain water, but I've just got that ready and on the go, so I use it. And so I'm kind of working into the soap and getting a bit of a paste. Same again, combing backwards against the hair, make sure they're really coated, and then up and over. Soap is my favourite preference because it's cheap, affordable, you get loads for your money, it lasts ages, and it instantly just looks better, goes flatter. It's already set, and I like to just press it down with my finger as well. See, I feel like this one you can see is a bit fluffier in texture, whereas this one has gone flatter. So it depends on the vibe of the day of the brow, or how thin the brows are, as to which one you might prefer and need. But those are my two favourite brow products that kind of shape the brows in place. So step 2 for the eyebrows. I like to use an eyebrow shadow. This is actually from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and an individual person would not need this many. You'd buy the colour appropriate to you. So for mine, I like to go in with chocolate because I like a warm brown. And I'm using a thin angled typical eyeliner eyebrow pencil brush. And now I'm going to kind of bring my arch to life. This is usually where people are thinning with their eyebrows, and this is the area I like to focus on first, and I'm just framing them. It's like here, this gel is activated with the eyeshadow a bit, so it has gone a bit darker, so I'm just going to blend that. We didn't want that harsh line. See, I'm lucky because of the tattoos, it's easy for me to have a guide, but if you don't have tattoos and you struggle to shape your brow, just think where your arch should be naturally. You should be able to tell. I'm kind of using the top of the eyebrow, like here, as a guide as to where the arch should go. And same here. So here, I don't want to be bringing this shadow down too much, because if I say do this, I've made a thicker brow, it looks hanging, whereas this side where it's thin looks lifted. Let me just clean this off. So yeah, I've concentrated on connecting that arch there and that outer arch there, and filling the gap and getting a bit of a tail going on. And at the minute it looks a bit ombre, so it looks like it's light to dark, and that's kind of trendy. You could leave it like that. Step, I am using the lighter shade of that option, and see how I'm not coming this angle anymore, not trying to stab it from this way. I've twisted my angle, my brush, my hand, everything, and I'm using the flat of the brush, and I'm gently bringing this area to life. It's like framing the eyebrows, and I like to do that because it looks a bit more structured, it looks a bit more neat. And this is to get a defined brow. This is like my going out brow. Day to day I might just completely skip this step, using my brush from a different angle, kind of pressing that shadow on without being too heavy handed, and connecting everything up. So I do have one that comes in a little bit further than the other. Naturally our eyebrows, if you pinch it, technically can start from there. So I can bring this in further, and sometimes I do. So this is where you can start playing with your eyebrows and changing the shape. And I'm just using that shadow. See, I'm like letting the brush do all the work for me. That I'm shaking because I drank yesterday, and this is why I don't drink before work, like the night before work, because I end up a shaky mess. Proper hungover. I am ready to quit drinking, guys. I'm not even joking. I've had enough of it. It's good at the time, but the next day, the few days after, oh my god, I feel so shit. Here I've got like a little dip in my eyebrow going on, so I'm concentrating on fixing that. I've got the lighter colour of the shadow, just trying to line it up a bit. But it's almost like you don't even want your eyebrows too perfect. I don't. I think it looks weird when they're too perfect. Next step, and the final step, is a eyebrow pen. A very thin pen. It's my favourite. It's from NYX. This is the shade Brunette, so it's quite dark. So get colours that match your hair colour, or how dark you want to go. It's obviously personal preference. This, because I lay it down in my kit, has leaked. My personal one doesn't do that, but for some reason my kit one does. So I do a brow gel and sometimes skip the shadow and go in with just this and do fake hair strokes. But when I really do try and change the shape, or I've gone bolder on the brows, I do the eyeshadow step. But you don't always have to. So you can skip to this step. So I'm going to start on this side first because I feel like there's a dip in here. And just do fake hair strokes. Trying to be so light-handed. So this will take practice. Sometimes it goes really well. Sometimes I still make mistakes. It's almost like the eyeshadow is creating a shaded background, and then this is now creating the hairs. And it's not too scary. Like, if I went wrong, I'd just wipe it off, go around with a cotton bud. So I don't want to do them too dark, so that would be enough, to be fair. So eyebrows are sisters and not twins. I'm actually not too bothered about making them too symmetrical, because like I said, I think it can be weird when someone's eyebrows are too perfect. It's like when someone's got perfect eyebrows, I just look at them thinking, eyebrows, 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 eyebrows. But then I will look and think, is one too out? Is it one too darker than the other? This one I prefer the shape of this, and this one always goes a bit different shaped, and it does annoy me sometimes. But half time, I don't have time to care. So to correct it, like, I think it's a bit thinner here. You could just use a brush with a bit of makeup remover on, kind of clean it away, or I'd go in with a concealer for my eyeshadow base or foundation. Again, you could come under with the brush as a cleaner or a cotton bud, anything really, just to neaten that area. Again, you can use your brush and go over the top and just neaten it. If you have a clean mascara wand, if you feel like you've gone too heavy, you can always go in, brush it through, because that will help reduce some of it and take off any edges. If you've not done your lines very good, you could go in and neaten it up. And that is it. That's how I do my clients' eyebrows, and mine often. Jeanette, you personally asked me to help with the eyebrows, and I think for you, because your hair colour, I think I used something warm, like these Albany and caramel shades, but then I might have even dipped a bit of a darker warm in. So with your hair being the colour it is, it's a bit harder to find one perfect colour for you, so I probably did dabble in a few. And then the pen might have been the Auburn shade as well, again for that warm colour. And for my blonde girls, any blonde ones, I like to use the taupe or soft brown. And then if they're super light and don't like dark browns, then even this is the blonde shade. But then some of you girls who like it a bit taupey dark, you go to medium brown. And then for his hair, dark girls, we've got chocolate, dark brown, ebony, granite, there's ash brown. But Anastasia do sell these individually. But I hope that was helpful, and it's all about going to have a little play and a little bit of practice.